The sound came first, metal kissing metal, sharp and unforgiving, followed by a sudden jolt that rattled through my parked car. I gasped, hands flying to the steering wheel even though the engine was off. Outside, a bicycle clattered to the ground. I stepped out, heart pounding, already rehearsing irritation. But it evaporated the moment I saw her. She was kneeling beside her fallen bike, dark hair spilling loose from a messy knot, cheeks flushed with shock and something dangerously close to defiance. She looked up at me, eyes wide, breath uneven. She started, then stopped. Her gaze dropped to my lips. Stayed there. "I'm so sorry," she said finally, but her voice didn't match the words. It was low, charged. Like an apology she didn't fully believe in. I glanced at my car. A small dent. Nothing dramatic. I should have waved it off, should have been practical. Instead, I was suddenly aware of how close she was standing now, how the air between us felt tight. "Are you okay?" I asked. She nodded. "Yeah. Just embarrassed." A pause. Then, softer, "You scared me." The way she said "you" sent something reckless through me. Before I could respond, she stepped closer, too close, and then it happened. No warning. No logic. Her lips pressed against mine. It wasn't gentle. It wasn't careful. It was impulsive, desperate, and entirely real. The world tilted. I froze for half a second, shock buzzing through me like electricity, before instinct betrayed restraint. I kissed her back. The kiss was brief but devastating, warm, urgent, tasting of adrenaline and poor decisions. When she pulled away, her eyes searched my face like she'd crossed a line she didn't know how to uncross. "I don't have self-control," she whispered. "I never have. I should have walked away." Instead, I memorized the way her lips trembled when she realized neither of us regretted it. And in that moment, I knew this wasn't an accident. It was. Silence wrapped around us, thick and fragile. She stepped back first, fingers curling into the straps of her backpack like she needed something solid to hold on to. I watched her throat move as she swallowed, watched the color deepen on her cheeks. "I shouldn't have done that," she said. Not apologetic. Honest. My heart was still racing. My lips still remembered hers, soft, demanding, unplanned. "No," I replied before thinking. Then, quieter, "But you did." Her eyes flickered with something dangerous. Relief. Curiosity. Want. "I panicked," she admitted. "When I hit your car, I thought you'd yell. Or worse, look at me like I was nothing." She gave a small, crooked smile. "Instead, you asked if I was okay." I laughed softly, surprising myself. "So kissing me was your solution?" "It usually stops my thoughts," she said. "I don't recommend it. Zero self-control." She bent to lift her bike, and I noticed her hands were shaking. That's when it hit me. This wasn't confidence. It was impulse fighting restraint. "Coffee?" I heard myself ask. She looked up sharply. "Are you asking me out?" "I'm asking you to sit somewhere public and explain why you kiss strangers after minor accidents," I said, half smiling. She laughed then, a Rael laugh, warm and disarming. "Fair." We walked to a cafe nearby, side by side but not touching, awareness humming between us like a live wire. Every accidental brush of her arm sent sparks through me. Every glance felt loaded. Inside, over coffee neither of us drank properly, we learned each other's names. Her voice softened when she said mine, lingered when she said her own. This is a bad idea, she murmured at one point, eyes dropping to my mouth again. Yes, I agreed. She leaned closer. Not kissing this time. Just close enough that I could feel her breath. Tell me to stop. I did. We left the cafe together, the evening air cooler than before, as if the world had shifted while we sat inside pretending we were strangers. She walked her bike beside her now, slower, matching my pace. No rush. No excuses. I should tell you something, she said suddenly. I stopped. She did too. Streetlights painted her face in soft gold, shadows deepening the seriousness in her eyes. I'm not available, she continued. Not really. My chest tightened. Neither am I. The words slipped out before caution could stop them. And just like that, the truth was standing between us, uncomfortable, undeniable. She let out a breath, almost a laugh. Figures. We stood there, suspended in the knowledge that whatever this was, it was already complicated. Already wrong in ways that made it tempting. I don't want to be someone's mistake, I said. Her gaze softened. Neither do I. Then, quietly, but I also don't want to pretend I didn't feel that. She reached out, fingers brushing my wrist, not holding, just touching. The contact sent heat racing up my arm. I keep telling myself to step back, she confessed. And every time I look at you, my body ignores me. I should have pulled away. Instead, I turned my hand, letting my fingers slide into hers. The fit felt natural. Dangerous. Perfect. Her breath caught. You're making this hard. I think it already was, I whispered. She leaned in slowly this time, giving me space to refuse. I didn't. Our lips met again, softer than before, deeper. This kiss wasn't about panic. It was about choice. About awareness. Her hand slid to my waist, warm, steady. Mine rested at her collarbone, and I kissed her back, knowing we'd never be able to unfeel this. We didn't exchange numbers that night. That was the lie we told ourselves, that restraint still had a voice. We said goodbye under the streetlight, her bike between us like a thin, useless barrier. She looked at me as if memorizing my face, as if distance would try to erase me. Be careful, I said. With what? She asked. With yourself. Her smile was sad. Too late. Days passed. Then a week. I told myself the kiss was a moment, beautiful, reckless, finished. Yet every red light felt like a pause where I might see her again. Every cafe door made my heart lift stupidly. Then she texted. I rode past your street today. Didn't plan to. I stared at the screen, pulse racing. Neither did I replied. I was already there. She showed up that evening, no bike this time. Just her, standing outside my building, hands in her jacket pockets like she was trying not to reach for me. I tried to stop thinking about you, she said the moment I opened the door. It didn't work. I didn't invite her in right away. We stood there, inches apart, the unspoken rules pressing down on us. This is dangerous, I said. I know. Her voice dropped. But I feel more like myself with you than I have in years. That broke me. I stepped aside. She entered. Inside, the air felt different, quieter, heavier. We sat on opposite ends of the couch like distance might save us. It didn't. She looked at me. Really looked. If I kiss you again, she said, I won't stop easily. I crossed the space between us. Then don't. Her lips found mine, slow at first, reverent. The kiss deepened, hands learning familiar places with shocking ease. She cupped my face like it was precious, like it mattered. When she pulled back, her forehead rested against my shoulder. She kissed my neck softly, not crossing lines, just tracing them. And in that quiet room, we didn't rush. We let the wanting stretch, aching, intimate, unstoppable. She stayed. Not because we planned it, because neither of us asked her to leave. The city outside my window hummed softly, distant and unaware, while we sat tangled together on the couch, legs brushing, shoulders touching, the kind of closeness that felt more intimate than anything reckless. Her thumb traced slow, absent circles on my wrist, like she was grounding herself. "This isn't just desire anymore," she said quietly. I nodded. "I know." She lifted her head, eyes searching mine. "I'm scared of how easily I chose you." That honesty pulled me closer. I leaned in, pressing my lips to hers, not hurried, not desperate. This kiss was deep and lingering, a conversation rather than a collision. She responded instantly, hand sliding to my waist, fingers pressing as if confirming I was real. When we parted, her breath was unsteady. She rested her forehead against mine. "Every time I touch you, I forget what I'm supposed to be." I smiled sadly. "Maybe that's not forgetting. Maybe it's remembering." She laughed softly, then kissed me again, slower this time, deliberate. Her lips followed the curve of my jaw, my cheek, my neck, leaving warmth behind without crossing lines we weren't ready to break. Each kiss felt like restraint wrapped in longing. I pulled her closer, arms around her, and she melted into me with a sigh that felt earned. We stayed like that for a long time, bodies aligned, hearts racing in the same rhythm. "I don't regret the accident," she whispered. "Neither do I." She pulled back just enough to look at me. "Even if this hurts later?" I didn't answer right away. Then I kissed her, soft, certain. "Some things are worth the ache," I said. She smiled, eyes shining, and tucked herself closer, as if the morning arrived quietly, light slipping through the curtains like it was afraid to interrupt us. She was awake before me. I knew because I felt her watching, careful, thoughtful. When I opened my eyes, she smiled, soft and uncertain, like someone standing at the edge of a truth they couldn't step back from. "I should go," she said. I nodded, though every part of me resisted. "I know." She didn't move right away. Instead, she leaned down and kissed me. Slow, lingering, intimate in a way that felt heavier than passion. This kiss carried promises we weren't allowed to make. "I keep thinking about consequences," she whispered against my lips. "And then I look at you, and they blur." I brushed my thumb along her cheek. "That scares me too." She exhaled shakily, then rested her forehead against mine. "What if this breaks us? What if it already has?" I replied softly. She laughed under her breath, then kissed me again. Brief, restrained, like a goodbye practiced too early. Pulling away was harder than holding on. I felt it in the way her hands lingered, the way she hesitated at the door. At the threshold, she turned back. "The accident wasn't the mistake," she said. "Running into you wasn't either." "Then what is?" I asked. She shook her head. "Pretending we can walk away untouched." The door closed behind her, but she stayed with me, in my thoughts, in the echo of her voice, in the warmth she left behind. Days passed. We didn't talk. We didn't pretend the silence didn't hurt. Then one evening, my phone lit up. I tried to choose the right thing, her message read. I failed. I smiled through the ache in my chest. Because some loves don't crash into your life by accident. They find you. She didn't wait for my reply. She was outside my building when I opened the door, breathless, hair pulled back like she'd done it in a hurry, eyes burning with the kind of honesty you can't rehearse. The city noise faded behind her. All I could hear was my heart. I tried, she said. I really did. I stepped aside without a word. This time, there was no hesitation. The moment the door closed, she reached for me, not frantic, not careless, but certain. Her hands framed my face, thumbs brushing my jaw like she was grounding herself before she lost control again. Her lips met mine slowly, deeply, with intention. This kiss was different. It wasn't panic. It wasn't curiosity. It was surrender. I thought distance would fix it, she whispered between kisses. But all it did was show me how much you're already part of me. I rested my forehead against hers. We can still stop. She shook her head, eyes shining. I don't want to. We moved together like we already knew how, onto the couch, closer, softer, learning each other through touch that lingered without crossing into urgency. Her fingers traced my arm, my shoulder, memorizing. Mine rested at her waist, feeling her breathe me in. I'm scared, she admitted quietly. So am I. She smiled at that, then kissed me again, slow, open, aching. The kind of kiss that says I choose you, even when it costs something. When we finally pulled apart, she stayed close, curled into my side, fingers intertwined with mine like she was afraid to let go. This is forbidden, she said softly. I pressed a kiss to her hair. Then we'll be careful. She laughed under her breath. I've never been good at that. I tightened my hold just a little. Neither have I. Outside, the world kept its rules. Inside, we broke none, except the ones that told us we weren't allowed to fall. And this time, we fell together.